Hey y'all, this is Jessica with Bless Your Heart. Let's do a Glitter Swirl Tack-It Peek-A-Boo today. We're going to start with this 40-ounce handled mug spray painted with Sweet Pea by Rustoleum. And my glitter choices are the Glitter Guy, Peaches and Cream, and Akoya, and Peachy Olive Glitters, Jacksonville. We're going to use the Epoxy Method as our glitter adhesion today, and this is just a little bit of Flynn Sisters Fast Set Epoxy. I'm going to cover the whole tumbler, and I'm going to get to glittering. Once I'm happy with the epoxy application, I'm going to start with my glitter. I'm going to do a very broad swirl, and I do want the top and the bottom of the swirl to meet on the same side of the cup. I'm going to start with my darkest glitter, and then I'm going to move to the middle color, and then I'm going to move to the lightest color. I'm not going for a blend in any form or fashion. I just want to get these glitters on this tumbler. With the base of this tumbler being pink, this Akoya is going to sit a little bit differently on the cup. You can see as I'm pouring it out that it's white, but it will look like a very pale baby pink once it's all said and done. This is really one of my new favorite colors. Once the glitter layer of epoxy dries for me, I'm going to put another good coat of epoxy on here and get it as smooth as possible. After this layer dries, I am going to go in with my palm sander, and I'm going to get this layer as smooth as possible to get ready for the next step. Once I'm happy with all the sanding, I am going to clean my cup off, and I'm going to put a stencil on here. This is the exact moment that I decided to go a different way with this cup. This is just a leopard print that I downloaded from Creative Fabrica, and I cut it out on some stencil vinyl I have in my stash. I'm going to do this leopard print in a very large swirl around the cup. I want a lot of that darkest color, that Jacksonville, to poke through. So I'm just going to place this all around the cup, just in that swirl pattern, until I'm happy with it. And then I'm going to move on to the next step. Once I'm happy with the swirl pattern of my leopard spots, I'm going to go in with the Tack It over and over. And I'm going to do a very thick coat, full coverage, top to bottom on this cup. I spray painted this with just a flat black Rustoleum. I'll show you that can here in just a minute. And I'm going to completely cover this entire tumbler with this Tack It. I'm going to let it dry until it's all nice and clear and shiny. And then I'm going to go in with Mr. Fancy Pants Black Magic. And I'm going to go full coverage, top to bottom, with this glitter over the entire cup. Once I've got this covered with glitter, I'm going to go in and I'm going to burnish the glitter down. I'm just going to polish that glitter with my 2 fingers until everything is nice and shiny and holographic-y. I am going to go ahead and remove my tape from the top and the bottom, just because I don't want to have to deal with a sticky mess anytime later. And once I get that done, I'm going to go in one by one and start peeling off my stencil vinyl. And that is going to show us that beautiful glitter underneath all this beautiful black glitter. When removing any of your pattern or stencil vinyl or whatever, you do want to be careful to try your best not to scratch that top surface of glitter on your tumbler, because sometimes it is not a quick fix, and just doing a little bit of easiness with pulling of all that stencil vinyl will help in the long run. But you just go one by one, peel it off, and enjoy the process. Once you have all your stencil vinyl removed, go ahead and get a layer of epoxy on this tumbler, and we're going to start working on the handle. To get the handle to stick to my turner arm, I'm going to hot glue it. This will kind of all come off in one piece. I have never personally had an issue with it sticking and not being able to get rid of it, but that's just what I do. So I put it on there, put the handle on the actual turner arm, and I go in and gloop even more glue, and that just kind of gives me a little bit of extra insurance, I guess, that this isn't going to come off, because we're going to spray paint this with the matte black that we sprayed the cup with, and that is going to be just this flat Rust-Oleum black. I'm going to use the same Tack-It glue. I'm going to spread it all over, and once that's nice and clear and shiny, we're going to go in with the same black glitter from the cup, and we're going to do the Tack-It method on it also. Whenever you're glittering a handle, you do want to take care to make sure that you get every nook and cranny. You want to make sure you get the inside, the outside, the top, the bottom, all of it. It is not hard to miss a spot on a handle. Once you're happy with your glitter coverage, we're going to go ahead and burnish the handle of the glitter also. And like I said before, you just want to polish that glitter to where it lays nice and flat, and you've got this super shiny holographic finish. Once we get that done, we're going to move on to the next step. I'm going to move on to my decal now. I have picked out 3 colors of vinyl that match closely with my glitter choices. And in order to get all of these to line up, I'm going to do the Parchment Method to line everything up nice and easy. For the Parchment Method, you want to take whichever decal is going to be on the top, and you want to leave a little bit of overhang so you kind of have an anchor. You can see the bottom vinyl through the parchment. You want to press your little anchor piece down, slip the parchment paper out, and you should be spot on. We're going to do this for the exact same thing for the top piece, and this is our actual decal, what we made both of our offsets from. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to peel off that backing. We're going to put that on the actual parchment paper with a little bit of overhang for an anchor. Easy peasy, line it up, press your anchor point down, slip the parchment out, and then you have a perfectly lined up decal. I'm going to place my name right into that open space that just has that beautiful black glitter on it. I'm going to press it down. I'm going to adhere it as best I can, and then I'm going to put my handle back on. Okay, so I have a little buildup of epoxy on my little prong things that my handle is going to go on. So all I'm going to do is take my little hand sander Dremel tool thing, and I'm just going to sand down some of that epoxy on both sides of each of those prongs, and that is going to take off all that extra stuff so my handle will sit down nice and easy. And once I'm happy with all of that, I am going to go ahead and put my handle back on, because I want to have the last layers of epoxy with my handle on the cup. So I'm just going to go in and use the screws that came with it, and I'm going to tighten those down hand tight. I'm not going to use a special tool to make them any tighter. I don't want to strip anything out. And once we get this back on and we're happy with how everything looks, we're going to work on the bottom of the cup. For the bottom of the cup, I'm going to use Peaches and Cream for our glitter and UV resin. I'm going to use maybe 3 milliliters of epoxy, not a lot at all. And I'm going to go in and put just enough glitter on the very top of that epoxy to cover the top of the epoxy. You don't want so much glitter that it's not going to cure, but you do need enough saturation that you are going to have a good coat of glitter. So I'm going to put this in that little well, spread it about, and then I'm going to cure this with my light for about 90 seconds until it is not tacky to the touch. Once that layer is done, I'm going to use my little logo tag. This is just a UV DTF I had printed from the glitter guy. I love them. I'm going to put that on the bottom of my cup. I'm going to do a very thin layer of UV resin on top of that. And then I'm going to epoxy the entire tumbler until smooth. And here we go. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.